I'm Anna Krasteva, and I will introduce the topic of local citizenship for revalorization of remote places. What are the possibilities of reversal of the trend of downward spiral of marginalization of remoteness? I will answer this question by looking at revitalization and revalorization of remote places through re-territorialization, migration, mobility, engagement, and social innovation. These emerging trends are analyzed from below, from the actors and activism forming the conceptual cluster of citizenship. Why citizenship as a key concept? Because, as Eisin and Nyers explain, citizenship remains a significant site through which to develop a critique of pessimism about political possibilities. It is precisely the active and positive potential of citizenship in generating change and change bearers that serves our reason for selecting this concept for analyzing the actors and actions countering marginalization of remoteness and the political instrumentalization in terms of rural populism and politics of distraction. Mission impossible to present this topic in 3 minutes. I will address it by structuring the analysis in 3 parts. So one topic, 1 minute. Acts of citizenship, re-territorialization and revalorization of remote regions through migration and mobility in the post-COVID, post-urban times, diversity actors of social innovation in rural and urban settings. To act means to take an initiative to begin, to set something into motion. The beginning is not only the beginning of something, but of somebody who is a beginner himself. For Hannah Arendt, acting blends together agency, initiative, beginning, change of the world and of the active self. This conceptual blend underlies the concept of citizenship as commitment, participation, and transformation. The Gilets jaunes, or the Yellow Vest in France, are the most vociferous voices of remote places and the transformation of frustrations, marginalization, and indignation into protests. Mathilde's focus is different. Not mass protests, but local initiatives. Not displays of the rural activism at the urban square and global media, but visible on the local public agora. Not mass movements, but acts of citizenship. If Yellow Vest are the voices of anger, Mathilde looks at voices of solidarity, friendships, commitment. If protests blame politicians, politics, and policies, the local activists assume the individual responsibility for change. If mass mobilization claim radical revision of macro politics, local actors aspire to micro changes. Volunteering and volunteers are acts and actors of local citizenship. The explosion of civic engagement during the migration crisis and the numerous intercultural initiatives in less dramatic times build the solidary citizenship, which impacts both the local public sphere and the formation of actors for others. Solidary citizenship leads symbolic battles against the hegemonization of the populist discourses of bordering and othering, and aims to transform the public space through the alternative discourses of human security, human dignity, and politics of friendship. Refugees and migrants volunteers are the other figure of local citizenship. Translators, intercultural mediators, a trainer in a school football team, participants in associations of their community, but also local associations and organizations. Active migrants demonstrate the transformation of vulnerable individuals into empowered activists who assume the participatory citizenship without or before the legal citizenship and contribute to inclusive intersectionality and the transformation of the local sphere. Reterritorialization and revalorization of remote regions through migration and mobility in post-COVID, post-urban times. COVID-19 is a major asset in the symbolic battle of attractiveness of remote versus urban places. The digital nomads enjoy doubling the advantages of the global work with the charm of choosing oneself the place of living. The local becomes more globalized, the global more individually localized. The attractiveness battle started before the pandemic. New actors are entering now the arena. Finns in a small Bulgarian village, already 1/10 of the local population, succeeded in transforming the image from a depopulated to attractive site. Several Bulgarians stopped selling their family houses, and IT created a village site for in-Thais connationals from Finland to join the expat community. The symbolic impact is crucial. They change both the look and the image of remote places and rebalance the deterritorialization-reterritorialization nexus. Urban-rural mobility, the new ruralism in pre- and post-COVID times, is another phenomenon in the changing symbolic relationship big cities versus small towns and villages. Deterritorialization of remote regions is a loss of the youngest and the best, of demographic and social capital, of brain drain. It is still a major threat. However, new actors of reterritorialization, migrants and mobile nationals, start countering the feeling of places left behind, revitalizing the remote places, promoting the attractiveness of small settings, and revalorizing remoteness. The last part, diversity actors of social innovation in rural and urban settings. Never doubt that a small group of thoughtful, committed citizens can change the world. Indeed, it is the only thing that ever has. You recognize the famous quotation of Margaret Mead. The actors of change are the vanguard of politics of transformation that generates social innovation and, even more importantly, opens new venues for change. Two examples illustrate the diversity of actors and practices of social innovation. Play School is an Oxbridge methodology introduced by a young British woman into a refugee center at the southern EU border. It is a triple educational and social innovation in terms of methodology, crowdfunding, and interculturality. Greening intersectionality is another emerging trend. Intercultural gardens as green bridges, an idea my team from Bulgaria, unites teachers and pupils, refugee and migrant children with children from minorities and the majority, mayors, migrants and locals, academics and NGO activists, all are equal and equally responsible for our shared life with nature. Citizenship as acts creates deeds and doers, and the proliferation of new political subjectivities through the transformation of citizens into activists and vulnerable individuals into civic actors is the double analytical and normative message of Matilde Project. Greening activism and policies is an innovative venue for reducing dichotomies, rural versus urban, policies versus activism, politics of distraction versus engagement, by setting common strategic priorities for a post-crisis world. Thank you.